In 2024, the Global Mind Project revealed that the UK was the second most miserable country in the entire world. These are not my words. You're on the internet, go and find out for yourself. I have a feeling that in the next coming months, the UK is going to be the country with the harshest immigration policies and immigration laws. All because of this white paper, which was released on the 12th of May, 2024. That is the talk of town everywhere. So in the white paper that was released recently, the UK laid down new reforms with regards to family visas, work visas, foreign national offenders, settlement, citizenship, so many of them. And I have done a video about all of these reforms to give you a summary of what exactly to expect, okay? And they also introduced new reforms for the student visa or international students category as well, which I'm going to talk about in today's video, okay? So if you're interested, stay tuned. Stop that. Hi guys, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Nanelle. So I've left this particular video for the last because when it comes to the study reforms, not much affects the international students or the international applicants. I think it's mostly targeted on the institutions or the universities, okay? And you understand why I'm saying this very soon. So the good news about this study reforms is the fact that the graduate visa is still going to stay, or is going to stay. So for those of you who do not know, okay, at the moment, if you are a PhD student or a PhD graduate, or you can do any doctoral program in the UK institution, when you're done, you qualify or you're eligible to apply for a postgraduate visa that allows you to work in the UK for up to 3 years. However, if you came to do like a master's, you can stay in the UK for up to 2 years. Now, in the white paper, they're saying that they're still going to keep the graduate visa. However, now it is being reduced from 2 years to 18 months. So just about 6 months short, which I think is okay. I mean, they could have stripped it off, but they left it, they just reduced it, which is not too bad. So you as an international applicant, you have to be wise and use that 18 months wisely, okay? Or use that 18 months to get something more permanent, okay? Now, what other things are we to expect in terms of the study reforms? So the first thing is that now they are strengthening the requirements that all universities and institutions should meet before they are able to admit international students or before they're able to recruit international students. So another thing that they are doing is that with regards to assessing institutions, there's this particular assessment that they do, which is called the basic compliance assessment that they do for institutions, universities, etc. Now, in their white paper, they're saying that they're going to increase the metric by 5 percentage points. And that's the example they gave. So they said, for example, a sponsor, which is like a university or an institution, must maintain a course enrollment rate of at least 95% and a course completion rate of 90% in order to pass the compliance threshold. And they're going to introduce a new coloring grading system, red, amber, green, to show your performance in the basic compliance assessment. So if, let's say, they tag an institution as red, then the whole world will know that probably they are not meeting the requirements for the basic compliance assessment, okay? Or let's say you are in amber, then all the authorities and all the general public will know where you stand in terms of meeting the basic compliance assessment. Aside raising the metric by 5 percentage points, they are also going to use a color grading system, okay, that would make it very clear, and then everybody will know the level of the institution, okay, or the grade of the institution based on the basic compliance assessment. And if they realize that you are in university and then you are failing, they are going to obviously support you. So let's say you are in red, okay, or you're failing your basic compliance assessment, they are going to give you more support on how you can improve your compliance, and they are going to impose a restriction on the number of international students you can recruit or the number of international students you can admit. Now, there are some institutions or there are some universities that also use recruitment agencies in other countries, okay? So they make the schools look very nice to you in your eyes and tell you that they have the best nursing program or they're the best international whatever program, so you should come there and all of that. So for universities that use recruitment agencies in other countries, now they are introducing what we call an agent quality framework. So let me read exactly what it says. So we will require all sponsors. When they say sponsors, they mean the institutions or the universities. We require all sponsors wishing to use recruitment agencies for overseas students to sign up to the agent quality framework, designed to maintain the highest standards of agent management and ensure that institutions cannot simply outsource their responsibility to ensure that the individuals whose visas they are sponsoring are genuinely coming to the UK to study. So when you're coming to the UK or when you apply to a UK university, obviously the admission team, you need to prove that you're actually really coming to study, let's say through your personal statements and all of that. But some institutions delegate this responsibilities to these agents. Now they're saying that they're introducing an agent quality framework so to ensure that obviously the agents are doing the right thing and are actually bringing in genuine students who actually want to study, not people who end up, let's say, coming to claim asylum when they come here, and people who don't even have plans of how they can pay their tuition fees and all of that. Also, for universities that have very short international or programs, some schools have courses that are, let's say, up to 6 months and all of that. They're also going to make sure that their processes are robust, okay, and consider what further checks that they need to put in place to ensure that there's high level scrutiny is being applied before an organization is accredited and when that accreditation is renewed. So I think that with this particular one, they think that because, let's say, it's a short course, I'm sure the fees will not be much compared to a 1-year program or a 2-year program. So maybe they think that a lot of people use that as a loophole in the system. They'll intentionally come and apply for these short courses and pay their tuition, and then when they come to the UK, they are nowhere to be found, or they claim asylum and all of that. Now they're going to use high level scrutiny in even accredited institutions that will be allowed to offer these short programs to international students and all of that. And when you are also renewing this accreditation as well, there will be high level of scrutiny. And like I said, they're going to reduce the ability for graduates to remain in the UK after their studies to a period of 18 months. So they're also saying they're going to explore introducing a levy on higher education provider income from international students to be reinvested into skills. So when we say higher education provider income, it is basically the money that these universities or these institutions make from international students in terms of tuition fees and all of those fees that they take. Now, the UK government is going to impose a levy on this amount of money that the institutions make, and they're going to use that money generated from the levy to fund training and skills and, reinvest into skills and training programs for people in the country, right? And what I was expecting is maybe they will put a specific number of, to the number of international students that will come into the UK every year, but they didn't do that. And I strongly believe it's probably because they make a lot of money from international students. I mean, look at how much money international students pay, and there have been lots of articles and lots of research to show that the money that international students bring into the country is what the UK actually uses to fund their universities. And some universities had to lay off workers here in the UK because after they stopped international students from bringing dependents and all of that, and there was a massive drop in the number of international applicants, some of the universities had to lay off some of their workers, and some universities even had to shut down certain departments now because there was no money coming in to fund those things. Maybe that is why, with regards to the study reforms, that is not so strict. Now, talking about how much money international students contribute, it is so much so that just recently I heard that even LemFi was giving out thousands of pounds to international students or to students to help them pay for their education. So for those who don't know what LemFi is, so LemFi is actually a money transfer app that allows you to send money from the UK, Canada, US to countries like Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and 20 plus other countries, okay? And the amazing thing is that with LemFi, there's no transaction fee. There's no transfer charges, nothing at all. And they have the best rates on the market. And they are the only money transfer app that gives back to the community on regular basis. Can you imagine? Now, for your first transfer of £100 or $100 or more, if you use a referral code Nanelle, you get a cashback of about £20 or $20 in your account. Okay, that's for your first transfer of £100 if you use my referral code. With LemFi, whether you use an Android, whether you use an iOS phone, you can still be able to use LemFi. I'll leave the link in the description so that you can make your first transfer now. Remember to use the referral code Nanelle. LemFi allows you to send money to friends and family in any of these countries that I mentioned within minutes. You can send it to their mobile money account, or you can send it to actual bank accounts, okay, just by tapping a few things in the app. The app is so easy to use. I like the interface, and even the fact that I can just use your recognition to just open the app and then that's me done. I've sent money. That alone is a catch for me, honestly. So guys, the next time you're transferring money to friends and family back in any of these countries from the UK, Canada, or US, remember to use LemFi. The last thing that they are doing is also that for international student recruitment, okay, for sponsoring institutions, the institution should demonstrate that they are considering local impact when taking this decision on international recruitment. So if you're a university and then you want to, let's say, recruit some of your students, let's say when they graduate and all of that, you should demonstrate that you're actually considering sponsoring people in the UK already, or British people who do not need sponsorship, okay, already, before you are taking up or recruiting an international personnel. So simply put, they want you here to come and study. They need the money for their universities, but they don't want you to come with their family. And when you're done, they're making it harder for you to get a job. And okay, they'll give you a graduate visa, but it's only for 18 months. Now they're toughening, you know, the requirements for the institutions to recruit you when you're done and to admit you. And for people that use agencies, they are going to increase the level of scrutiny to make sure that you are actually coming to study and not going to end up as an asylum seeker or an overstayer. Basically, this is it. Guys, what do you think? Comments below all your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.